Hey. All right, so for today's design update, I'm going to walk you through some of the new generative AI features that we've released into Eddy recently. And if you're not familiar with Eddy, this is Headliner's new app that lets you generate a bunch of different promotional assets for your podcast in just a few clicks. You can add audio or video using any of these methods, local upload, RSS search, Google Drive, or Zoom. And then we're going to generate a project for you, which contains all these different assets. So it starts off with a transcript. You get some title suggestions, you get speaker diarization, you get chapters and all that, that's all pretty, old news at this point. So let's move into the new part, which has been pretty fun to work on. It's called the promo pack. And what this is essentially it's like a bundle of different generative AI processes that we have going on as soon as you upload a file, but we've tried to abstract it into this super user-friendly UI to make the process just a little bit more inviting, a little bit more fun, and less intimidating. So once you open up your promo pack, you now can have this view of all the assets we've generated for your podcast. There's show notes, episode art, keywords, etc. I'll start with episode art. I think this one's the most fun. This is essentially some custom artwork that you can use to visualize the content of an episode. And any podcatchers let you upload this. It's just that a lot of podcasters don't really take advantage of it because it's not easy to generate art for every episode. So what we've done is we've essentially created a pipeline to do this automatically. So this art, let me just explain it real quick to give you some context. This is for the new episode of The Daily that just released today, in which it was talking about a bunch of farmland in California that these Silicon Valley VCs had bought up and were trying to make a new city there. So Eddy's tried to visualize that for the cover of this episode. And the way this works is that it actually takes a transcript and then sends that over to an LLM and tries to art direct something. So we've done a bunch of prompt engineering to try to get an LLM to kind of become a really good art director, which then can take that direction and then pass it over to image generator. And then the image generator is taking in aspects from the podcast to kind of personalize the output to the show, like stylistic things such as the colors. So you can see these colors actually match the Daily's podcast cover. So it's doing all these things to try to personalize the output to the podcast itself. And so essentially, it's a lot of prompt engineering behind the scenes, and my hope was that by using this kind of very simple UI and automating all that process under the hood, we could just let podcasters take advantage of these new AI tools without having to learn prompt engineering and all that. Because my guess is that most podcasters do not want to spend a bunch of time learning how to prompt ChatGPT correctly. They would rather just focus on their podcast. And tools like this can essentially infer all of the things that they might want to do using different personalization techniques. So every time you upload an episode, you can get all this automatically. And let's jump into how how show notes looks. So you can see here you have a text output. You can copy or download it. And it is as well personalized to the podcast using some different techniques. So the Daily's actually got pretty sparse show notes. So let me jump over to a different episode that has a more defined show note structure. I think this is Tech Meme Ride Home. So Tech Meme Ride Home has a very specific show note style. So I like to test with this one. So you can see that it's gone in and learned the show note style that Tech Meme Ride Home uses frequently. And it's tried to emulate it. So it gives you this little blurb, but then it pulls out the sponsors automatically. So the podcaster doesn't have to go in and do this. It's going to learn that every episode, this podcaster likes to list their sponsors. And so let's create that same format here. And let's also put in their legal footer, because that's something that they have to do manually each time. Let's just try to automate that process for them. So all this is actually decided by the LLM. A lot of prompt engineering that goes into that, but now you kind of have this essentially agentic system that's trying to learn your preferences over time and create output for you that's just going to help the visibility of your podcast overall. So yeah, this is the new the new features we just released. Definitely let me know what you think if you try them out. Super excited to keep iterating on this. All right, bye-bye.